Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Chris with the C. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much for joining me today. Guys, on the table over here, I've got the Syncro 2 by Team Corally. This was sent to me over by Team Corally for the purpose of these videos and for a review and evaluation, basically just to kind of give you my thoughts. And last year, I absolutely loved the Syncro 4. It was my favourite pick of last year. Four-wheel drive buggy 4S. Metal chassis, really tough little platform, this one. And Team Corally must think exactly the same thing, because what they then did was go ahead and create the Punisher 4, the Kagama 4, and now they've come out with this two-wheel drive version. Now this has caused a bit of a stir on the internet. Everyone's gone crazy and mad, but I think this could possibly be an excellent step in the right direction for many people coming into the hobby. Now 4S doesn't normally associate with, should we say, starter packaging or starter trucks or anything like that, but what they've gone ahead and done here, they've given you a two-wheel drive platform, all right, and essentially it is a Syncro 4 with a few minor changes to it. And obviously you could then, if you wanted to, go ahead and change that out to four-wheel drive. 4S, two-wheel drive, it's got Hobbywing rebranded electronics. There's not a lot not to like about this. The only thing I think it might catch a few people out is obviously the fact that with what they've done is they've used a existing platform of the Syncro 4 and essentially just change a few bits around for a different market. Now, you obviously, when it comes to bashers, many of us were looking for a two-wheel drive buggy. I know I was personally. It was something a little bit different that I wanted to have in my little arsenal. And to have a mid-engine two-wheel drive buggy with the option further down the line, if I wanted to upgrade to four-wheel drive, is spot on. As I say, this video is sponsored by Team Corally. They have asked me, sent this over for the purpose of these videos and asked me to review and evaluate and basically go out and run the buggy. Big shout out to all the guys in Team Corally for asking me to do this. Guys, I'm going to put the head cam on now. We're going to start unboxing it. I'll show you what's what and then we'll go from there. I'll see you in a second. Right, okay guys, Syncro from Team Corally, a 1/8 scale buggy. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Many people out there at the moment are actually saying that, oh, you know, all they've done is taken out the differentials. Yes, they have. They have taken out differentials and created a two-wheel drive mid-engine buggy. You know, let's not pull any punches here. It is what it is. And I actually like that. I like the fact they've taken an existing two-wheel drive platform. Now, what it actually does, guys, is lower the cost of admission for many people. Unless, you know, remember, this is a 1/8 scale buggy. There was no other 1/8 scale mid-engine two-wheel drive buggies on the market. Okay, so yeah, you know, guys out there with the negativity, you know, it's been done. Plenty of companies out there adopt different parts from different vehicles and create existing platforms, you know, and then take it and create another vehicle. So that's that. All right. What I like about this, okay, first things first, is great big stout tires on the rear to start off with. You've got obviously two-wheel drive buggy, so that will create some stability on the vehicle for number one. Number two, you've got full Hobbywing electrics on the vehicle. So you've got the Couron 725. It's a 40mm can, 2150 kV. Really powerful for what it is, especially in 4S configuration. I run it on my Syncro 4, on my Punisher. I've had it in even that motor in one of my Technos previously. Good motor, good power, revs up nicely. You've now got a 10BL 120 G2 rebranded ESC, the Team Corally 2 Rocks 135. Now, there's 135 amp ESC, guys, okay? So will cope with 3S, 4S, absolutely awesome. I, again, have used a different version of this ESC in other vehicles I own, and it's been blinding, honestly. Full metal drivetrain on the rear. You got metal dog bones, obviously, metal gearing, metal diff. Really nicely tuned. I've got no issues with that. Will I go in and tune the diff a little bit more? Probably at a later date, I will say that. Hybrid shock towers. So what I mean by that, guys, is on the rear here, you will see a lower turnbuckle EG shock tower mount, which is made out of aluminium. And then what they've gone ahead and done then is basically made a composite part. Now, I've not broken one of them. All right, I've sent my original Syncro 4 to the moon, which is by here. All right, and this truck has been beaten, bashed, raced, jumped. The only thing I've done in the whole time of owning this is snapped one front top arm. Really, really awesome buggy. I love it. And one thing I will say, guys, is yes, okay, the cost of emission between the two is not a lot, but what essentially it will do is give many people in the hobby a lower price point. Now, I will say, I'm not going to mention the company's name. Recently, in the past couple of days, a company has just released a brushed four-wheel drive 3S, up to 3S buggy. So the price point of what this sat at, I think is awesome. I really do. You get so much more. 4mm metal chassis, all right, at the bottom. Very stout, very tough, really, really decent quality. I love the etching at the bottom of the vehicle as well. Full 8-scale shocks. All right, they're made out of composite. But again, I've got no issues with that. I've had many crashes on the front end of here, and where metal shocks would bend or buckle or break, the composite just seemed to absorb any impacts, and they're fully tunable. You know, I've never had any problems. Metal shock caps, again, which is a pro, because obviously plastic shock caps might pop off, so Team Corally have addressed that. You also get the option then, because you guys got a slipper plate in the center. Now, further down the line, if your skill then becomes a little bit better, a little bit different, or you might want to change up the driving experience, what you can do is swap up the slipper, and then obviously put a differential in the front. Or everything is being left in place for you to do so. Now, again, other companies, they'll sell you a boost pack. I'm not obviously going to mention any names, but they'll sell you a boost pack, and obviously you have to pay to maybe change from a two-wheel drive to a four-wheel drive. Team Corally, good electrics to start off with. You know, I'm not a pro Team Corally guy, all right? But what I will say is my experience personally with them has been positive. And I will call out a company when I feel that there's something to be addressed. You know, there's an elephant in the room, as per se. So I've got no qualms about doing that, and I will work with the company just to explain my experiences. So obviously you guys at home can make an informed decision. I wouldn't want to lie to anyone about it, but yeah, I've had a good experience with my original Syncro. Now, it's going to be a different driving experience than the four-wheel drive, obviously, because it's going to be rear-wheel drive and obviously biased towards the back end. So what it will tend to do is teach you throttle, managing your throttle on a corner. So as you power, basically what will happen naturally with a rear-wheel drive, that back end might want to step out. Now, I would have liked to have seen they've included a CT2S handset with the car. It would have been nice to see some sort of gyro implemented in this vehicle for people who have maybe want the car to be pin sharp and aided. All right, I actually run a gyro on my bigger cars. I've got no issues with the gyro. Some people have, some people haven't. I think to have one in here would have been good. Now, obviously, that might have bumped up the price ever so slightly, but I think that would have been a nice addition to the vehicle. Full hex hardware right the way through. Again, no issues there. Very manageable, very serviceable. Again, flexible wing. So they've changed up the material on the rear wing, and you know that's good, nice and stout. I've not had one break on any of the 4S vehicles yet, so that again is a good thing. 25 kilogram servo, guys. Again, didn't have to include the 25 kilogram. No. What I will say is with the 10BL120 G2, all right, you have something on a called adjustable BEC voltage. So what that'll essentially mean for you guys at home. At 6 volts, the servo might run at lower stated kilogram, e.g., so it might run at, let's say, 20 kilograms. You change it up to 7.4, that you're then getting 25 kilograms, so a stronger steering rate, and it's going to be faster, more responsive. And also, should you want to fit the fan on the vehicle, your fan will then run higher as well. So again, all these things. Now, is it an existing platform? Yes, it is. But where people misconstrued some information here is they never said it was a new vehicle. It was new in the sense of the range. Now, what Team Corally have cleverly done is created a whole ecosystem around the 4S range. I think that's good because parts are going to be interchangeable between vehicles. You may even want to, let's say, if you want to do the upgrade with your 4S vehicle, is maybe look at somewhere like Jenny's or many of the aftermarket parts, what they call them, breakers, essentially, and you should be able to pick up the parts you need for this relatively cheap. Now, as I mentioned, other companies will sell you a boost pack, and the cost of the boost pack is quite expensive. Look, as I mentioned to you before, it's been going on in RC hobby for a long time, so we all need to get over that little bit. I really like the look of this buggy. I was quite excited when initially they brought it out. The announcement came, and I thought, you know what? It's a little bit a step in the right direction for me personally, because two-wheel drives is what I learned to drive with. And there wasn't any 1/8 scale rear-wheel drive buggies on the market as an RTR. And I thought, it does teach you how to drive your vehicle. I definitely. The only issue I have had, and I will say with experience, is this battery tray. In the past, I have had one break. There's a little adapter there, here. When you put your battery pack in, if I've had an impact, this little adapter here is snapped. There is aftermarket battery trays which you can get for these. My friend at Garage Life, let me just show you quickly. He does make them. Makes a really nice 3D printed battery tray there, guys. It should you want to further down the line, basically fix your battery in a lot better. But again, you might not even need that. Me personally, I added it, and I've not had an issue since. But overall, I'm very happy with the way the buggy is, how it looks. I love the new paint scheme. The new paint scheme, I think, really pops. You've got that beautiful green colour. It's a bit louder than the previous version. The only thing I will say, I've taken the stickers off this one, but as you can see, it's a little bit louder. One thing I will mention to you guys, all right, and I found this helped in a big way. Towards the rear of the body there, as you can see, I made some holes just to keep the air flowing over the top of the motor, just to keep those temperatures down. Now, the other thing is you have a fixed motor mount position in here, okay? So it goes 13, 15 and 17. With the stock motor mount in the vehicle, the maximum pinion you can put in here is a 17 tooth. I run a 17 tooth in my Punisher 4. I run an 18 tooth in my Syncro. Again, should you want to change that out and give you more adjustability, you can do, and I've done it on both my vehicles. You can actually use a Team Corally Spark motor mount. Again, so that will give you fully adjustable gearing, no problems at all. And again, I picked the parts up off, I think it was Jenny's in America. I think it cost me a grand total of around about £22 in total. And I had full adjustability then of, adjusting all my gears. What they've done essentially with a fixed motor position is taken out, as I say, it's aimed at the average user who doesn't want to be potching around, changing gear ratios, this, that, the other. You've got 13, 15, 17, and all good. Guys, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause the video 2 seconds. I'll put a heads down, and I'll just kind of go over a few other bits on the vehicle. I'll see you in a sec. Right, okay, so this is the Syncro, guys. Now, what I've actually done here, okay, as you can see, I have removed, obviously, the diff case cover. Oh, sorry, the center spur gear, or whichever way you want to call it. This is essentially where the diff case would be. And I'm pleased to say it's very easy to adjust. They've got this little notch there. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. Let me just show you. Where we to? See this little notch here? Right by there. I'm working on my camera skills. It's not really working out. Hang on, 2 seconds. Okay. There's a little notch there for adjusting your slipper clutch, and I'm pleased to say that the slipper clutch is made of a really nice material. Now what I will say though is the spur gear itself is actually made out of a nylon. It would have been nice to see a metal spur gear there, but again, in the cost of bringing it down, the cost down on a vehicle, I think that's a good thing, and also is a nice cheap part to replace should there be any issues. Now, just to put this in perspective, guys, all right, there's my Team Associated race buggy there. This also uses a nylon spur, so essentially not a bad thing. Now, as we mentioned previously, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, you have got a fixed motor position. So at the moment it is running a 13 tooth pinion. You can move it then across to 15 and then also to 17, so you've got plenty of gearing options there. The mesh is going to be tight and neat. I haven't had any issues with this except for the fact that I like to adjust my gearing. The servos on these are actually very good. I did have one go out with me on the Kagama previously, but I did have a nasty crash with that, okay? So I can't really blame the car for that, because, you know, essentially that could have been me. But since then, I've not had one of the Verapop servos go down on me. I normally swap these out only if I want a bit more speed from my servo, because they're maybe not as fast as other servos, I will say that, but they will definitely do the job. There's no issues there. I will be swapping out this to an EC5, but again, that's personal preference. The 725 motor, again, very, very nice motor. I've not had any issues with my Couron 725. Just going to bring the camera down to you a second, guys. I think that's probably better. There you go, there's a better view there. So as you can see, this is the slipper assembly, as I mentioned. See that little groove there? Here. What you can do then is adjust your slipper clutch. Alright, so get a little screwdriver in there and adjust your slipper clutch. When we mentioned about the composite shock towers on the rear as well, so what essentially it does, you've got the shock towers mounted into this hybrid system they've got here. So they've got a lower plate then here, as you can see poking out the back there, for your turnbuckles. No issues at all there. The suspension setup out of the box is very nice on this one actually, compared to my Syncro 4. I will say the shocks are well dampened, and also I'm wondering if they've changed up the shock oil actually, because it does seem to rebound a lot nicer. As I say, fixed camber link positions in the front and rear. You're obviously got these big upper A-arms here, and webbing on the bottom of the, let's turn the car over. Again, nice big thick arms on the rear. Okay, there is a space there for a sway bar should you want to fit it, so that's good. All the parts from your Syncro 4, a lot of the parts from the other 4S vehicles will fit onto this as well. So if you can find some parts, you know, good thing is with Corally, you can mix and match your parts quite easily. Again, your front steering rods or your outdrive, you know, many people call them different things. Turnbuckle essentially for me is a composite, so you've got a fixed position on your steering, no fuss, no hassle. This will flex on an impact rather than bending. Overall, very, very nice. I'm going to plug the ESC in now a second, because I want to find out what the ESC settings are on here. And I want to turn the BEC voltage. So I'm going to get this set up now for obviously running it for the first time. And again, guys, yes, just to kind of put this out there, this is a Syncro 4 with a few changes. So what they did was, obviously you haven't got your center differential, you've got spur gear there now. You've still got your dog bone running towards the rear, and you'll have essentially on the four-wheel drive version another dog bone going here, and then a a front diff in the front. Now, you can swap that around at a later date. Everything is here for you to do the conversion. And, you know, not a bad thing in my opinion. I think that's, as your skill changes, or maybe you want to use your vehicle in a different way, you know, you can make the changes. So we'll come back to you in a second, guys, okay? Right, guys, so what I've done here now, as you can see, I've got my battery connected up. We have got it plugged in. So I'm going to go through the values. I've got Hobbywing program card here, okay? These are about £10 off eBay or Amazon. You can get these absolutely anywhere, guys. Cheap, cheerful. Gives you a lot of options then for tuning your vehicle. 2 seconds. Just plug that back in because I pulled the wire out. I'm going to turn the car off, back on. Right. So we have got the programming card on. I'm going to go into the manual. And the good thing is here, is Team Corally give you a fully adjustable ESC, so they also give you the instructions. Now guys, should you want to make any changes to your car, there are QR codes on the front here which will take you to Team Corally's one-page manuals or their website, and obviously you can get the information on there, but I like to keep hold of all the instructions myself, and I'll go through those in a moment with you. But right, so I am looking for what we got options here. We got running mode, lipo cells, low voltage cutoff, ESC, BEC number 7. So item 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. So it doesn't allow you to change your BEC. That's strange. So according to this, that's a weird one. I'm gonna have to speak to Team Corally about this, because we've only got 5 options there, and there's 11 options on the manual. Very strange. Very, very strange. I'll come straight back to you in a sec. Right, okay guys, so what I will say here is I'm waiting for Team Corally to get back to me. I'm now going to install all the mounting equipment back in. I might actually change up to a 15 tooth pinion just to get a little bit more speed on the vehicle, and I think we'll go out and run it. But I'm going to give you my thoughts up top, and fingers crossed you in the next video you will see the running of this car. But I really like what I'm seeing here. I've got no issues. I'll see you in a second. Right guys, okay, so what I've actually done here is just to kind of show you, because I am going to be changing the pinion out, is one thing I will say this time around, in all fairness to Team Corally, they have listened. On my Punisher there was a little bit too much Loctite, and this time around they've actually made it really easy to get it out. Now, the centre slipper clutch arrangement, this is what it looks like, okay? Really nicely made, really kind of robust, really nice slipper plates in there, bearing carrier on the one side. Obviously you've got your outdrive, and this is how you adjust your slipper clutch. Now there is a 1.5 let me show you, 1.5 screw there and a 1.5 screw there. You loosen those off, and to adjust your slipper clutch you get a pair of long nose pliers or something like that. There's 2 little grooves, as you can see there. To loosen it off, we would turn anti-clockwise. To tighten it up, we would go clockwise. So yeah, very easy to adjust. I have adjusted this one, so I'm going to do it back up now. Again, not over tightening. Okay, so there you go. Very nicely made. Nylon, obviously, spur gear. So that will give, obviously, a little bit of give, and obviously, over time, that will wear away, so it'll be easy to change out. Now, fixed motor positions, as I mentioned. Let's just pull the camera down a little bit. Okay, so there you go, guys. You've got your 13, which is labelled here, 13, 15 and 17. I'm probably going to go up to a 15 right now, okay, just to kind of give it a little bit more wheel speed. And what I'll do after this is, obviously, we'll go up top and talk about it, but while I'm in the car, I'm just changing a few bits over, ready for his first run. But again, the unusual thing here, mind, is what they've done this time around is, instead of having a metal motor mount, they've gone with this nylon one, which again, sorry, non-nylon composite, which again will obviously keep cost down and weight, but yeah, you could, if you wanted to, go ahead and put a metal one if you wanted to at a later date, or obviously go with a sliding motor mount like I mentioned. Right, see you in a sec. Right guys, okay, so I fitted the 15 tooth pinion in there, nice and easy to do. I didn't have any issues. The pinion that came off, it was a 13 tooth, so that was all okay, everything was fine. I didn't have any issues with any Loctite, so that's good. Now, one thing I will say here, okay, I did have a little bit of an issue with the car, is on the Punisher, so obviously that was the last one that was released from Team Corally. Team Corally updated the wheel nuts. Now, as you know, on this channel, I have had a bit of a history, should we say, with non-serrated wheel nuts, and it's something you guys need to know at home. Unfortunately, what they've done again is fitted non-serrated wheel nuts on there, and I don't know why they're doing this. I would honestly, Team Corally, if you're watching a video, please just keep including serrated wheel nuts on the car. These are the ones that come off a Punisher, and as you can see, what I mean by serrated, for anyone who doesn't know, see this pattern on the back of here, guys? All right, you've got this kind of spiral pattern. Now, what essentially that will do, let's take the wheel off. All right, so as you can see inside there is obviously the plastic on which a wheel nut will grab onto. With a serrated wheel nut, as you tighten it in, it will cut a groove into the plastic of the wheel. Now, be aware, obviously, anyone watching this doesn't actually know, maybe add a little bit of Loctite, all right, on your axle stub here. Let it, put a bit of Loctite on there, let it set a little bit, then tighten your wheel nuts up. Or you can pick up a cheap set of serrated wheel nuts. I would definitely recommend getting some serrated wheel nuts. And again, Corally, if you're watching this, you know, the difference between the two, one's serrated, one's not. I would definitely just start including some serrated wheel nuts, because not everyone is going to understand that they need to Loctite their stub axles. You know, just a little thing to point out here, guys, and I think, obviously, if you had a bit of Loctite on, that's going to go a long way, but other than that, I would go out and buy yourself some serrated wheel nuts. I'll see you in a second. Right guys, Syncro, I keep calling it the Syncro 2, it's not the Syncro 2, it's the Syncro. As I mentioned, there's a few little things obviously to mention here. Serrated wheel nuts, or obviously adding Loctite, that's definitely one of the things you're going to want to look out. Now, my overall thoughts on the buggy is, to be honest with you, if I can get the body off, very happy with the package you got. Now, as I mentioned, there is another company out there that's recently released a 1/8 scale buggy, but it's only 3S, and also it's a brushed version. Now, me personally, I would skip that. Yes, it's 4-wheel drive, because what you're actually getting here is metal chassis, obviously metal gearing. You've got the option of changing up the motor mount, obviously, and then adding the centre diff and the dog bone and the front differential. As your progress in the hobby moves forward, I mean, obviously, you've got the option then to add the parts, and plenty of other companies have done this. You know, as I mentioned, the elephant in the room there, get that out of the way. It's not a new thing. Other companies do it. They add, you know, boost packs and stuff like that and whatever for upgrading your car. It's a step into the hobby. The price is right for it for a start. Yes, the price difference between this and the Syncro 4 is not as much as you'd think, but on the other hand, what this will actually do is teach you how to drive a car. 2-wheel drives are not for the faint of heart when you're starting off. It will teach you control, it will teach you how to corner properly, and there was also a place in the market for a mid-engine rear-wheel drive buggy. Now, overall, very nice package. I have sent a message to Team Corally to mention about the ESC, about the programming options. I've spoken to someone else as well who's actually got this buggy, and apparently they need to update the manual. So obviously be aware, if you are looking for the program options, I think Team Corally will update their website, obviously with the 2ROX 135. Overall, very happy with it. It's nice to see, obviously, there's not too much Loctite being added to this vehicle like a previous vehicle that I owned. I'm going to run this now later on today. I will do an updated video of the first run. I have updated the gear into a 15 tooth. Overall, very stout, very bulky. A couple of little issues, obviously, to point out, but nothing major. Obviously, these are just things to check over on your vehicle before using it for the first time. I want to say a huge thank you, obviously, to the guys at Team Corally for asking me to do these videos. Honestly, it's been a pleasure working with you, and I hope in the future we can continue to carry on. Guys, I hope, obviously, the videos are informative enough for you. If you're enjoying the videos, obviously, hitting the subscribe button, it costs you nothing and means the absolute world to me. And it allows me to know which videos you like watching and which you don't. And then, obviously, I can keep producing content for you. In the meantime, guys, obviously, check the box for more videos. Stay awesome. I'll catch you later.